And so now we're going to be talking with Michael Owens. Hi, Mike. Can you introduce
Hey,
yourself and give these young people a good message from your heart?
for sure, for sure. My name is Mike Owens, and I first came to prison in 1994 for two drive-by shootings and an armed robbery. And at the time, I saw coming to prison as just a part of the game. I didn't see it as like a negative. I thought that that my life was that I was on my life path. I was meant to be a gangster. I was meant to follow through and represent my neighborhood. And so I saw going to prison is just the next stage in my life. It was really no big deal, right? So when I got to prison, this was the welcome that I received. I don't know what I was expecting, but this is the welcome that I received. A sergeant came into R&R where we were all stripped butt naked in a holding tank. There's about 30 of us in there, standing elbow to elbow. And he said, "Welcome to Folsom State Prison. If you try to escape, we're going to kill you. If you hurt one of our guards, we're going to kill you. Your homeboys will tell you everything else you need to know to survive. Go play." And with that, we was released to the yard. At this time, prisons were ran by gangs. I thought that my hood, my street gang was my ultimate loyalty. But when I came into prisons, I learned that that held no credibility. I was a 19-year-old cat that that was immersed in a world that I really wasn't prepared for. And so I compounded the bad decision of coming to prison and not doing anything positive with my time with making another mistake, which was joining a prison gang. When you come into prison, you will lose control of your decision making. That's the whole point of prison. When we made bad decisions in the community that showed that I couldn't safely be in the community without harming people, they removed me from the community and put me in prison, right? They had to shrink my world down to kind of protect the same neighborhood that I claimed that I loved, right? And so when I came in here, you think when you come to prison, you outlaw, you're going to do what you want to do. Don't work like that. You know, the prison gangs control where you're going to sit, what you're going to do with your time, who you're going to associate with, and where you can go. And if you don't want to listen to them, well, then you'll listen to the rules, and the rules will tell you where you're supposed to be at, when you can go. These were all lessons that I kind of had to learn. I didn't want to go to school on the street, but in prison I was forced to go to school, right? And so had I went to school on the street, I would have went to school for my own benefit. But instead, I came in here, and in order to be able to go to yard, I had to go to school because that's the only way you can get out your cell. So my bad choices kind of put me in a position where I could have made some good choices and spent time in here working on becoming the type of man that I'm supposed to be, the type of man that can protect my family, the type of man who can truly earn a living without bringing disrespect to his family name. Instead of working on those things, I worked on developing my criminal career more. I built more associations with other young dudes that was just lost as me, that were still trying to build a reputation, that were still trying to find value in the G code, right? And the decision from that was I paroled 3 years later, having done absolutely nothing to address the things that brought me to prison the first time. I stayed out 8 months, and then during a home invasion robbery of a drug stash house, I killed two brothers that lived there. I came back to prison with double life without the possibility of parole, and that means that when I parole, it will be because I'm dead. Those are the fruits of my decisions. I had a choice when I came the first time. I made a mistake, and I had a choice to come the first time and start to work on getting my stuff together. But I really believed that the G life was what was for me. I believed that I had made a commitment that I needed to see all the way through. And what I want y'all to understand is that I'm dead wrong. If you believe right now that the G life is the life for you, or that you can do what you're doing and not wind up in prison or an early grave, you're wrong. And I can prove it to you. Right now, you're convinced of something. Think of what you're convinced of right now. You're absolutely sure you're right about that, right? Or at least you think you're right enough to gamble with your freedom. Now I'm going to ask you to rewind the clock back 5 years ago. What did you believe 5 years ago that turned out to not be true? Is there any beliefs you held then that you felt were absolutely rock solid, the right thing to do? And now, here 5 years later, you figured out, damn, I'm sharper than I was then. I had that wrong. So, my question for you, young men, is what do you believe today that in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you're not going to believe? Who's good at math in that room? If I went to prison in 1994 the first time, and this is 2025, how many years of my life have I given up to the prison system? In that time, I've lost loved ones. I've seen my children grow into adulthood. I've had my son not want to have anything to do with me because he felt like I chose the streets and gangs over being his dad. So today he's an adult man that doesn't want anything to do with me, and he's right because I did make those choices. Those aren't the choices I'd make today, but those are the choices that I'm stuck with. Y'all are on the front end of those choices. You know, for those of y'all that might got homies in prison, how many of y'all have went to your homie's house and checked on his mom? How many of y'all have walked his little sister to school so she could be safe? How many of y'all have paid on phone bills, light bills, rent to help your homie who went to prison representing your neighborhood or your gang? I'm guessing not many. I know I never did it for not one of my homies. And guess what? After 30 years of this, none of them have done it for me either. You're only as valuable as your latest move. And while you out there and you kicking it and you partying, it's cool. But when you in here, guess who the visiting room be full of? It be full of wives, it be full of mamas, and it be full of sisters and aunties. That's who come rep for you in here. Some of y'all have probably already been to visit somebody. Who'd you go with? Did you go with your homies? Or did you go with your moms or your sister to see your loved ones? Who was putting in that package money together? Like, think about those things, man, because this could be you. I know I'm old and dusty now, but I was young and fly once upon a time, right? Y'all young and fly right now. But if you keep rolling them dice, fam, you're going to be old and dusty in prison, man. If you lucky. Because I got a lot of loved ones that didn't even survive to live in prison. They died early. And now their families is just left with a picture on the shelf, and you deserve better than that. Ultimately, I'm aware that I can't control your choices, and I'm probably not going to change your mind with one conversation. But what I will tell you is if you do make bad decisions and you do wind up in prison, don't join a prison gang. Go your own way. Start being your own man. Pay attention. Pay attention to who shows up for you. Pay attention to who comes to your court dates. Pay attention to who sends you socks and drawers and TVs and all the things that you need to make this hellish life in here a little better. That's who you owe your loyalty to. And last message, if you really love your neighborhood, if you really love your community, make it safe for the kids to play in the sidewalks. Make it safe for Granny to go to the store at night and not get hit upside her head for her purse. That's really loving your community and really loving your neighborhood. I can't wait till I can get a chance to get back out there and really love my community and my neighborhood. We need you. This world needs you. If y'all see some things that's going on with the current presidential administration, you can see a lot of our communities are under attack. Go show up, be a good man, look out for your family, and really love your hood. Peace.
Thanks, Michael.